You go into the store and you say to the store clerk, I want all your video. When did the robbery occur? Let's say April 10th. You tell the clerk, okay, I want your footage, your security footage from April 11th to the 20th. They're going to look at you like you're fucking stupid.
That's crazy.
Why would you ask for a warrant a day after the accident?
That's crazy. That is horrible.
Why?
That's the real, so obvious.
The real question is why. The real answer, it's right here. It's right here in the testimony we just heard. He looked through the camera prior to getting the warrant, prior to writing the warrant. He looked through the footage, and it looks like anything before April 5th in the afternoon is not helpful. So let's just cut it out. By the way, this warrant right here that I just read.
But that's exculpatory evidence.
Fuck exculpatory evidence. This warrant was not executed properly. Any lawyer, any new lawyer can look at this warrant and tell the courts that these dashcam footage that you have in this case file, they're invalid because you did not execute the warrant properly. You can't cherry pick what evidence you want. The warrant is for April 5th and April 6th, even though it's a stupid thing to do for April 5th and the 6th, which clearly the 6th has nothing to do with it. Okay? But you still didn't execute the warrant properly. Now, I can understand if he says to a magistrate, he says, I'm writing up a warrant for April 5th from 1 p.m., April 5th and onwards.
That would have been specific. Exactly.
I can understand that.
Exactly.
But to go in and cherry pick what evidence fits the narrative, what doesn't fit the narrative, and then write up a warrant after the fact, I'll say to you, get the fuck out of here.
Well, that document is sealed.
By the way,
there's no way you can find out about what you're talking about.
It's a crime. What I just read to you earlier, the U.S. Code, whatever.
Yep.
It's a crime punishable up to 20 years in prison.
They're betting on the fact that the document is sealed, no one can verify.
So if Chad Mason is 60, maybe you'll get out by 80. Maybe.
Well, he's got 2 weeks before the SD card gets inspected.
Even by the way, I'll tell you, even if they don't inspect the SD card, the fact that they did not execute the search warrant properly shows you they're tampering with evidence. They're tampering with the rule of law. You can't do that. Not in America.
Once you execute the full warrant and you upload the full dash camera, this prosecutor cannot lie about Mustafa in court. Our whole theory falls apart.
Look, there's a reason why 3 weeks later, today, marks 3 weeks of when Brad Haywood requested a hearing to examine this SD card. And there's so much pushback from the prosecutor. There's so much pushback from this county on simply I mean, this is, by the way.
I don't understand. She says, the prosecutor says that Mustafa is arguing inside the vehicle. I want to help you get the audio for you.
Look,
do you see what I'm talking about here?
It should not be this difficult. It should not be this difficult to examine a piece of evidence. Like, we're not building a court system. We're not building a judicial system.
Apparently you are.
This is not like, it's not like there's no precedence for this, okay? Clearly, people have been charged of a crime. They've gone through their evidence. Like, this is not the first time a man is being charged with murder. It's not the first time that a man requests to examine his evidence. It's not the first time that a man is held in jail. This is not the first, like, we're not building a judicial system here. We are simply asking, let's follow the laws on the books. There are millions of people who have been prosecuted, who've gone through their evidence, who's gone to court. Like, this is not the first case that Prince William County is having.
Amy Ashworth says Mustafa drove the vehicle into oncoming traffic on purpose. I want to help Amy Ashworth by reconstructing the vehicle to give her the evidence.
Exactly.
I mean, unless Amy Ashworth is lying to us. Amy Ashworth says Mustafa is arguing inside the vehicle. Well, I want to help Amy Ashworth. I want to get her the audio. Unless Amy Ashworth is lying about Mustafa arguing inside the vehicle.
I mean, that's a very good point. I can't argue that. You can't argue that. Let's help you get to the truth. Unless you're not looking for the truth. That's another story.
That's a different story.
Would you turn to page 14 of that manual?
You know, that's a very good point. By the pause real quick. That's a very good point that Blake is making. He's asking Chad Mason, you didn't ask yourself, how does this camera operate? You just said, I have the common knowledge of a common person. Let me take this SD card out, plug it into my computer. It's as if, like, he doesn't have to abide by any standards or policy procedures.
Didn't he say he programmed it?
And what Blake is asking here, he says, you did not think to yourself that this is a piece of evidence. I have to preserve it. I have to follow a chain of custody because, oh shit, I wear a badge. Oh, I work for Prince William County Police.
14 years.
I'm not just a common person going through an SD card. I'm a investigator with the police department.
For 14 years.
And it's my job to preserve this piece of information. In case it goes to trial, I have to preserve the integrity of this material so that nobody can sit here at 4:35 in the fucking morning and say, why did you tamper with that piece of evidence? I mean, there's policy and procedure so that people don't later down the road have their family sit in front of a jail, in front of a county courthouse and say, why are you tampering with my brother's evidence? Why are you tampering with my brother's dash cam evidence?
Especially when he's admitting to it. You're admitting to it.
You're an investigator.
He's been an investigator, a crash investigator for 14 years.
Well, it looks like
he doesn't know how to follow the chain of custody for a dash camera?
You know, I want to say it looks like the 14 years didn't teach him anything. But then again, I remind myself that he's not stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly. You know, they want to muddy up the water. They want to muddy up the water so that, you know, and I'll tell you why it's not documented anywhere. Because they know that there's a 1% chance that Mustafa is going to get a lawyer like Brad Haywood, who's going to say, I want to look at that SD card. I mean, think about it. Mustafa's had, what, 5 attorneys at this point?
Just about, yeah.
Just about 3, 4, 5 attorneys. Not a single one of them said, pushed back on the prosecutor's office and says, I want to examine this SD card, except for Brad so far.
No one actually got the body cam of Andrew Margiotta.
Okay, so think about it like this.
So you know,
think about it like this.
He's pushing hard on the evidence.
Think about it like this. Chad Mason never expected Mustafa to get a lawyer who's going to push back and say, I want to examine this SD card. So what did they do? He says, oh, I don't remember. I didn't document it anywhere. I don't remember that there was an audio or if the audio was an issue. I don't remember.
So he wants to come out later and say.
By the way, and it's not documented anywhere that there's no audio. So that in the 1% chance that you do get a lawyer that actually does go in, brings in an expert, gets the SD card, pulls the audio, they're going to say, well, we never said officially there was no audio. We just assumed there was no audio. But it's nowhere in the record that they're saying there's no audio. The only time you hear no audio is in court. By the way, where they've sealed
where
off.
Sheriff Glenn Hill comes in with a giant machine,
Exactly.
make sure that no one records the proceeding.
Exactly.
I mean, the community doesn't know. No one has evidence of what they're saying in court, and the transcripts are sealed.
And the transcripts are sealed. I mean,
Mustafa's defense attorney doesn't even have the fucking transcripts.
Okay,
Make sense.
Let's continue.
Where it says, removing the memory card. Before removing the memory card from your PC, you must first dismount it for safe removal. Do you see that? Yes. You don't even know who it is, right? In terms of the memory card. Sure. But this is
What is she objecting?
Yeah, I'm not. First of all, Your Honor.
It's like she just wants to tell Judge Weimer, I'm still here, Your Honor. Are you letting this puppy get cross-examined, Your Honor?
Oh, Judge Weimer is
Weimer is getting angry. This puppy is getting cross-examined. He already answered this question.
Weimer is like a bobcat. He's just sitting there like, well, he already answered the question, so like, what is your question now? He already answered the question. Like, you're supposed to be impartial, buddy.
You should be upset that this officer is telling you that I violated department policy. It sounds like he's okay with this officer violating department policy.
Listen, man.
And he's upset that he's being asked about violating department policy.
Listen, Weimer, kick back, relax, and listen to the testimony before you speak. I mean, he's already sitting there assuming. I mean, you already know he's in there protecting the cop. It's clear. He says, I reread your motions, so don't bother me with the same details. Basically, you know what he's saying? He's saying, he's looking over, he's like, there's a court reporter. I don't want you to repeat what you put in the motion. I'm going to say I read it and reread it. Isn't that what Judge Hilton said? Hilton? In federal court.
Oh, yeah, Hilton.
The first thing he says is, I read, exactly the same words, by the way. I read and reread your motions, so don't bother me with any of the information that you've already put in. I mean, then what the fuck are we here for?
Exactly.
If we can't repeat what we're arguing
if you
in the
can't
motion.
litigate and argue the motion, why are you there?
Tell me something new.
Why don't you just submit it by mail and I'll reply to you?
He's like, tell me something new. I don't want to hear anything you put in the motion. That's what he tells Blake.
Maybe you should tell Judge Weimer about the children being weaponized.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Maybe you should tell the judge about the vehicle crushed and staged.
He doesn't care.
Well, clearly he doesn't care about Officer Chad Mason violating department policy.
What are you talking about? That's his puppy.
That is his puppy. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually is his puppy.
That's his puppy. He's going to protect his little puppy.
I just had this weird image in my. I swear to God.
Don't. Just keep going.
Chad waving his tail.
Wagging his tail?
Wagging his tail.
Okay, let's keep going.
You think he even calls him Chad?
Let's listen.
Well, then, Your Honor, I would argue manuals can be found online on Rexon's website. Would meet here's the exception, and this court can take a judicial notice. What is the hearsay exception? The hearsay exception is it is a publicly available business record, and it has an issue of reliability. In addition to that, is that issue of reliability that we have on the internet? It is found on Rexon's website, and the Commonwealth cannot be a Rexon exception.